Hi Lily, how you doing? Great work with the videos, fantastic. Keep up the practice, It's all coming together, well done. Woo! Okay, let's talk about a little bit about what you're doing in your videos. Let's start with the warm-up. I like what you're doing, you're making a great sound. Okay, so this is really important for saxophone players. We have to make a nice sound, and you're doing that, and that's because you're taking your time, you're thinking about what you're doing, you're squeezing correctly here. It looks as if you've got the correct placement, you've got the correct amount of mouthpiece in your mouth. It looks as if everything's working, you know, pretty well. It sounds as though everything's working well, so that's good. I use this warm-up as a way to challenge my breathing and to develop my breathing. Now I can see, you know, you've got to push a lot of air through the instrument, I know that. And it can sometimes be difficult for people, young people who are in primary school, to really get a big enough puff to really hold the notes a long time. But I think what we also have to remember is we can develop your lung capacity. We can make it bigger. And that means that you'll reach a stage where you won't run out of breath so much, or you won't feel as though you're running out of breath all the time. So the way that I do it is, here's what I would suggest. You have a go at holding, you're going to do your octaves, right? So you're going to do F, F. And you hold the first note for 4 beats. You do this with a metronome, okay? So this is how we're going to measure it, and we're going to challenge you with the metronome. So you hold the note for 4 beats. And on the next beat, you go to your high version of that note. So you go F, F. And if you can only hold that high note for 1 beat, that's okay. That's quite all right. That's great. That means you're playing a note that's 5 beats long, right? That's quite something. But if we keep coming back and keep doing this exercise every day as a warm-up, you'll notice that pretty soon you'll go F, F before you run out of breath. Now tell me, is that not progress? That you can hold it for 4 and 2, where a few days ago, a week ago, you could only hold it for 4, then 1. That's progress, okay? That's really serious, good progress. It also means that over the next few weeks, you're going to notice that you're going F, F, even longer, okay? So that's what I would recommend. Let me demonstrate. So my metronome is on at 60 beats per minute. Let me just turn it up a bit so we can hear it. Metronome on at 60, octaves on the F. So I played 4 down the bottom, and then I got to, I don't know, where did I get to, 12, 13, something like 14. So I'm using that as a way of really challenging myself to take bigger, deeper breaths from right down here. Big, deep breaths. And, you know, that's how you're going to develop your breathing. Challenge yourself, and don't worry if you can only play 3 beats down low. Don't worry. This is really early days for you. I've been doing this for decades. You've been doing it for, you know, weeks and months. So don't get frustrated about it. Enjoy it. Enjoy just seeing what you can do. The metronome is the key, though. If you can do it with a metronome, that means you're going to be able to every day do it at the same tempo, at the same speed. Okay, so if you've got any questions about that, remember when you send me the video, you can talk to me. I can hear you, so you can ask me questions. You can tell me what you're going to play. But try that as a little bit of a challenge, a breathing challenge. And because you're playing longer notes, your saxophone sound really gets improved. Okay, on to number 2, your F major scale. Now, you're playing the F major scale and you're getting your fingers in the right places and you're playing all the right notes. Brilliant. That's a biggie. That's a big thumbs up. I would, if you can, get onto a metronome. Get a metronome. You can just type into Google metronome and a metronome appears, or find if you can get a metronome from somewhere. Put it onto 60 beats per minute and try playing your scales like that. Now it's really important, as a saxophone player, you have control of your fingers, and as a musician, we want to play the right note at the right time. If you play the right note at the wrong time, you've turned it into a wrong note. So this is our way of training ourselves to play the right fingering at the right time. And it's all about making your fingers move. So, making your fingers move in time. The last thing I would want to hear from a student is a scale played like this. Correct notes, all correct notes, but speeding up and slowing down. Speeding up on the easy bits and slowing down on the difficult bits. I never want to hear something like this. This is wrong. Even though it's the correct notes, you're building mistakes into your fingerings by doing it like that. I'm not saying that that's what you were doing, but what we want to do is keep everything in time. Practice your scales with a beat. Okay? If you can try finding a way to do that, that would be brilliant. And the same goes for the arpeggio. And the arpeggios are even, I'm really chuffed that you're having a go at the arpeggios. The arpeggios are tricky because you have to move F to A. That's 2 fingers moving at the same time. And not only that, it's a strong finger and a weak finger. These fingers, you might have noticed, these fingers are weak compared with these fingers. These fingers are really strong. So the challenge here is to have your fingers coordinated. What we don't want if you're playing the F major arpeggio is this. Did you hear all those mistakes? I was being deliberate, but those are the kind of mistakes that creep in. So we want really precise and accurate fingering. I was super impressed that you went round it twice. Really, really good. But again, if you can get yourself a metronome, it means that you're going to be able to really lock in time with the metronome. Hopefully that makes sense. And we're looking for really clean and precise movements with the fingers. It doesn't have to be fast. We just want it really accurate. So if you can work with the metronome, it really helps. Then we got onto your tune, which was the Rushing River. Okay, so you've got all your fingerings in place. You're good at working out where your fingers are going. Timing and the counting was a little bit iffy on this one. So before you start playing, you've got to make sure that you're thinking to yourself, okay, what speed am I going to play this at? Am I going to play it at this speed? Is that going to be my crotchets? Is that going to be my 4 beats in the bar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That might be too fast. Just play a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That may be a little bit more manageable. But what we're not allowed to do is start at one speed and change halfway through to play in a different speed. We're just not allowed to do that. We can't do that. We're not allowed. So, top tip is before you even play your very first note of the tune, you have to think to yourself, what speed am I going to play this at? And you have to then have that 1, 2, 3, 4 going through your head at the same speed for the whole tune. The challenge with Rushing River, let me show you just for a second. I know you know it, but the challenge here is, here's your 4 crotchets. Now this is another way to think about just getting it really nice and accurate. There's your 4 beats in the bar. So the first bar is 4 crotchets, and then the second bar is 1 note, but you've got to hold that for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. Okay? A lot of people find it really helpful before you play a tune. I do this as well. I mean, when I'm presented with a new piece of music, sometimes I might put my saxophone down and just say to myself, right, I need to get to know the counting first. If I can't count it, I'm not going to be able to play it. So before you play Rushing River again, or before you record it, could you demonstrate to me that you can do this? So that was me clapping through the rhythm of the first 2 lines. Could you demonstrate that you can clap through the whole thing? That would be really good. And you know what? You will notice a difference when it comes to playing, because you've taken the time to work out all the fingerings. I didn't hear any wrong notes. Great. But we need the rhythms. The rhythms are actually, the counting is more important. So could you demonstrate to me, please, in the next video, clapping through Rushing River, and then play it? And I bet you'll notice a difference. I bet you any money you'll really be impressed at how good it sounds. Okay, let's leave it there. We're coming up for 15 minutes, so I think that's a lot to take in. I'm really impressed that you're keeping up with the practice. Keep it going. I love getting your videos. It's magic to hear you playing. You're really, really committed to your saxophone, so that's wonderful. Thanks for putting in so much effort, and hope to see you soon. Okay, have fun, enjoy your practice. See you next time.